My name is Martin, and I channel the energies of Jesus and Mary. Their message is always one of unconditional love and non judgment. Every week, here in this beautiful chapel in my home in Pueblo, Colorado, I offer online channeling sessions. After a prayer and a brief meditation, I allow the energies of Jesus and Mary to come through and answer the questions that the participants pose. There are no rules and no question is off limits. This video contains a question about whether Jesus was black. Let's see what Jesus and Mary had to say. Question 1. Back in time, was black the first color of all mankind? And did we just turn white? Was Jesus black? Were you black when you existed on earth? Answer from Jesus and Mary. No, I wasn't black, I was Jewish. And so the physical Jesus was of the Semitic race. Now you know it's only the pigmentation that makes the skin black. There also was a time when there were beings from other dimensions that were here and were doing genetic work, DNA work. Now your civilization and your scientific community think that they have just discovered the DNA chains and cloning and things like that. And they're making a big deal out of the moral issues and the legal issues and so forth. But this was done a long time ago, and there were other beings that were manipulating and causing some of the different variations, genealogical and DNA variations in the different races here on Earth. But no, I was not black. One of the interesting things that you're going to see happening, partially in your lifetime, but mostly after all of you have transitioned, and when you come back again in future incarnations, you are going to realize, and even in the spirit world, as you observe what's going on here on Earth, you're going to see there's a mixing. There is a mixing of the races. This is a good thing. People are coming together and are liking each other, opposites are attracting, and there's more and more mixing. Eventually, there are not going to be these distinctions that nowadays seem to be so important. The time will come when you're all just going to be the same, and there will be other things that will differentiate you. But no, these are all superficial colorations and things like that are really not that important. Question 2. There are some people who are critical of the fact that Jesus is being portrayed as a white man. I have lived in the Middle East, and the people in the Middle East who would be descendants of Jesus and of the disciples are as white as any of us in this gathering. They tend to have more of brunette type features, dark hair and brown eyes, but they're still white. Why is this so important? Why are people picking this issue to jump on? Who cares what color Jesus is? Who cares what color your skin is? Well, we want to start by saying that we are not physical anymore. But it's not surprising that people would want to be so concerned with my physical aspect 2,000 years ago. That was not my only incarnation. I should say I incarnated in different manifestations, in different races and time periods, different societies and different civilizations. So that was just the last one. I haven't reincarnated since then. My mother and I have not incarnated since then because we have such an important role to play in the spirit world that being in a physical form would really, really limit us tremendously. It is human nature to put one's own agenda forward, and there has been a lot of religious imagery that has attempted to portray us as looking very European. Now you say that the Middle Eastern people that you have associated with were white, but there is a difference between the Mediterranean version of human beings and the Northern European. There are a lot of beautiful artist depictions of my mother and me as being very, very European looking. And somebody who is not European, and somebody whose ancestors are from Africa and who has very dark skin, might possibly feel a disconnect. Much like black children years ago in the decades of the 50s and 60s, whose parents would buy a doll that was white or European. A little black girl would be playing with the doll that was white while she was black. At that time, there was no option. There were no black dolls to be bought at Macy's or other department stores. Now that has changed. The awareness has changed. A lot of this is just a cry from certain minorities. They're expressing their own desire and their own feeling. I don't care if somebody thinks I'm black. I was asked. I was asked if I was black, and I had to say no. I was Jewish. I was born into a Jewish family in a Mediterranean area and culture. So that's what my physical body was. But if somebody thinks I'm Chinese or black or Native American, it really doesn't matter to me. But we do understand. We do understand your concern, but to some people it is important, so we're okay with that too. For information on how to participate in an online channeling session, visit Channeling with Jesus and Mary at meetup.com. For information on this ministry, visit jesusmary.org. Comments have been disabled for this video, but please feel free to send questions or comments to info@jesusmary.org. Thank you for watching.